Hey everybody, Lazy Retired Granny here out in the cherry orchard. We're gonna walk down here and talk to Craig, also known as John Boy. And this is part of the cherry orchard here. I did talk with him earlier today and he said that the cannery people have already been out here, so we're not going to get that experience. And then here's some more. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening and there's still people out here picking cherries. So if they come, we'll put this on pause because we don't want to bother him while he's working. So here's a close-up of one of the trees. Look at all the cherries still on there. Can you see that? Oh, they're delicious. Yeah, that's just one tree. There's a whole bunch of them out here. So, yeah, so he's sitting here in his little booth waiting for his customers. And we have somebody driving up. So this part, it goes all the way down there. I'm not going to walk all the way down there, but can you see that down? Let me see if I can. Oops. I was trying to supersize it here, but yeah, all of that in there. Okay, so he has somebody here, so let's just put this on pause for a moment. Okay, and we are back at the little shelter here, and I have John Boy with us.
Hi.
There he is. And he's the one that oversees all these cherry trees, so he's going to give us a little bit of history of what's going on here. I'll ask the questions and he'll answer them and we'll go from there. So, okay, so first thing, how old are these trees?
So these trees were planted in 2016. These ones right here.
Okay.
And those were planted over here, were planted 1 year later.
And
there have been cherries on this farm since my great-grandfather bought it. He bought the farm in 1946, and my great-grandfather farmed, and then he grew cherries, and this whole hill was all in cherries, and then I took it over once he retired, and we've been planting more trees.
so when they originally planted the trees, you have to take those trees down and replant? How does that work?
Yeah, these trees, this was already pulled out when I took it over, so there were no trees there, but right where I'm standing now, there were trees here, and so the trees had been taken out, but we had lots of roots to pick up and lots of stumps to get out of here, and so there was a lot of work to clean it up and level off the ground.
And how long will these trees last?
35, 40 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, and what kind of cherries do we have here?
These are lapins. Lapin is similar to a Bing. Right here, they're a sweet dark cherry.
Ooh, and what do you use those for?
These are really good for fresh eating. I sell some of them for fresh eating, and then as U-picks, and the rest of them go to the cannery. They make maraschino cherries with them.
Oh, you're kidding me.
That's what they do. They take them and they pit them and put some color and some flavor in them, and then they put them in a jar.
Wow. And is your name on the as the producer of it?
We have Byers Farms is the farm name that we go by, and that's just based on that was my the family name.
And so then when they process these through as maraschino cherries, do they go under different labels?
They are under, well, it used to be Oregon Cherry Growers. We were a co-op, and now it is Pacific Coast Producers.
Oh, okay. All right. I know that name. Okay. And we have somebody come up, so we'll put this on pause. Okay, we are back. All right, so we're going to go out here to the trees and he was telling me that this one tree down here, I want to show it to you. So you paint the trees. Explain that.
Yes, we do. So we paint the trees mostly on the southwest side of them because the white paint will absorb heat less than the darker colored wood or the darker colored bark. So you can see some damage here, and this next tree over, we didn't paint it so you can really see the full extent of the damage. What will happen is in the winter, as they thaw out, when there's a freeze, and then they thaw out from the heat right before dark.
Oh,
and
wow.
then the sun drops over the horizon and it gets cold fast. That side had thawed just enough and then gets cold really quickly.
Wow.
And then it just splits open. It kills the moisture that's in there. It freezes, it expands, and it kills some of the tissue. And then as the tree grows, it grows out of that tissue. That tissue doesn't keep growing because it's dead. And so the white keeps it from absorbing quite as much heat and thawing quite the same.
So will this tree survive?
It will survive, but the inside will begin to rot out. And we have some other trees back there, some bigger trees that have done that more, and you can see that, yeah, if there's no protection from the bark, and so the water will get in there, will get in this crack, and it will pretty soon, the whole center of that tree will rot out, and it will be stunted severely.
And then you have to take it out and replant?
Either take it out and replant, or just deal with a tree that gives half the production that it should.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and you said these trees here have been here since 2016?
16, yes.
Wow, okay. And these trees over here...
Those were planted 1 year later. So there's
Look at all
not
those
much
trees.
difference in size.
And how much acreage is this for trees?
This is 5 acres back here, and there was 5 acres planted this year, and there's about 3 up
Oh,
there.
a lot then.
So there's 13 acres of cherries.
Okay. And then you, like you said, you sell to the cannery, and then you have your U-picks. And then once the season's over, what happens to these cherries?
Last year we had Salem Harvest come out, and they pick for the food bank. And so we donated a bunch of cherries for the food bank.
Wow. Well, that's good. That'll help feed a lot of people.
Yes, it will.
And something healthy. Wow. Okay, now when I was here today, you kind of took me by surprise because over here, you have peaches.
That is correct. These peach trees are almost 2 years old, I guess.
And what kind of peaches are they?
We have 5 varieties out here. There's Canadian Harmony, Suncrest, Alberta Veteran, and one row of Saturn.
Wow. Now, I was talking to my son about it, and he said he was talking to somebody about peaches. I think they live in Florida, and they have a white peach.
There are some white flesh peaches. None of these are, but there is a white flesh peach.
Okay. And so is this U-pick out here?
But that will be the plan. There's nothing yet. This is, in last year there were 8 peaches in the whole orchard.
Oh.
So this year there's far more. I mean, you can see.
Got 9 this year, huh?
You can see several peaches on this tree alone.
Oh, wow.
And so they're not real big, but they're starting.
So how old is this part?
This tree is 2 years old, or 1.5 years, I guess.
Oh, wow. So this is a new adventure for you.
This is a new venture, yes.
Wow.
This little tree was planted this spring.
Oh.
So that's what they look like after they've been in the ground for, 4 months.
Now, are these the one the deers come and get?
The deer have left the peaches alone.
Oh.
The deer are really hard on the little cherry trees.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, they don't bother the peaches. I don't know if they taste different, if they don't like that taste.
So did they eat the trees, the leaves, or the cherries?
Well, the little cherry trees, they will come and they will nibble and they will eat the leaves. We've grafted all those trees, and so they will grafted them up a little bit higher. They'll come and they'll eat, and they'll grab the whole graft and yank the whole thing
off. Oh, wow.
They also like to rub the velvet off their antlers. More on those trees because they're taller.
Uh-huh.
So they will scrape up the tree about right in here, about this height. Scrape it all off, trying to get the velvet off their antlers, and then that destroys the bark, and then it kills the tree.
Oh.
These are short enough. I think that might be why they're not fighting them. They're way down here, and they don't.
Yeah.
That's just a different shape form.
Wow. And how many acres of this do you have?
There's right at 4 acres.
Wow. And how long does it take to have a really good crop of peaches?
These are a semi-dwarf tree, and so they will get to production a little bit faster than a full-size tree. So a couple more years before we get there.
Oh, wow. Okay, now another thing that amazed me when I was out here is this grass field out here. And it looks like the farmer's out there doing something. So this tells a little bit about.
Well, that's that's not my venture, but
right.
That's just from being around there and talking to the guys and knowing what they're doing. They harvest it first of all for grass seed, and so they windrowed it, put the rows were then on the ground for more than a week in some warm weather, which dried the seed and the stalk out enough that they were able to run them through a combine, shake the seed off, separate the seed, and then the seed went in trucks back to the cleaner to clean it a little bit more, and then the straw is left there. You can see it in rows again. They dropped the straw, and then now there's balers out there, and they are going to bale it, and then once it's baled, it will go to get compressed even further, and they will ship it to Japan.
Wow. And do you know what they use it for in Japan?
I don't know much about the process, but I am told they use it for cattle feed. Being an island, they have to ship everything in.
Oh.
And so they grind it up, and I don't know what else they put with it, but it's a component of the feed.
Wow. That is amazing. I didn't even know this was back here. Have they been doing that a long time?
Yeah, as far as I know, it's been a good number of years that they've been doing that.
Wow. That is just amazing. I didn't even know this was in our backyard. And there's more of the cherry orchard there. Just amazing. I've learned a lot today. Okay, so back when did you say your great-grandfather started this?
1946.
Wow. Now, did he have all of this property here? I mean, where I live and that other house?
I don't know what all was his.
Oh.
I don't know what was where the lines were exactly.
I was just curious if that was part of the cherry orchard back,
Yeah, as far as I know, it wasn't.
Oh.
I think that where these trees are originally, that was he had it for hay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
There were pear trees up on the top there, and there's one lone pear tree up there, which I'm told was there when they bought the place.
Oh, wow.
So that is an old tree.
Yeah. Amazing. And look at this tree here. Look at all those cherries on there. Oh my gosh.
For some reason, that tree, these first couple trees right here, overbear every year, and the fruit's very small.
But still, look how
So, yeah,
delicious
there's a
it
tremendous
looks.
amount of fruit, but it's smaller than the other trees.
Wow. So is this going to be your domain? Is this your profession?
Well, I do this part-time, and then another job.
Wow.
Kind of through some of the rest of the year.
Wow. This is just fascinating to me. But even this little tree here, look at all the cherries on it. Wow. So they've got a couple more weeks yet to come out and pick?
Yes, they'll pick a few more weeks.
And these cherries here are the same as the ones over?
That is correct. That is the same variety, they're just extra small.
Huh. It's amazing. Well, this has been very informative. I'm trying to think if there was any other questions anybody wanted me to ask. If there is, we'll come back and do part 2. I'm going to do a close-up of these cherries again. And do they sell just regular cherries like this in the grocery stores? At the cannery, or they all?
Everything that I take into the cannery all gets put into the brine process and then gets turned into a maraschino cherry.
Oh.
So they do they hand pick fruit that's going to go for fresh market, and then we machine harvest these. So we shake shake the trees to put them then for the Martino cherries.
And unfortunately, people, I missed all that. I did not see the trucks go by. Ellie was not very good at letting me know. All right. Well, I think that's about it. Can you think of anything else about harvesting all? Now, what is the care of this? I mean, do you have to come out and water them? And
So no, these are all dry land, and so there's no watering required. Water would help, but that's we don't water them. And so yeah, as soon as harvest is over, they just kind of sit for the rest of the summer. I don't do anything until this fall, and then I spray them once for fungus in the fall before they lose their leaves, and then put a little bit of boron on them. That helps with the fruit set. And it's just try to give the trees some of their vitamins and keep them as strong and healthy as they can be. And then in the winter, we then prune. We take off all the dead wood, and where things are too thick, or branches are crossing over each other, that's where we...
Oh, that's a lot of work. Wow. So that's what I see you out here doing when you're spraying, is the nutrients and all that stuff.
Correct.
Huh?
That is correct. So yeah, you'll have to come visit us here at the pruning time.
I will.
It'll be about the middle of November. We may start that, or December.
Well, there was an interest. A lot of people, you go to the store, you get your cherries, you don't even think about where they come from, or, Martino cherries. And I didn't even know that that's how they did it. So, wow. Well, this has been really informative. I've liked it. Anything else about it you can think of?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up.
That's it? Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
I'm glad to be of help.
Okay. All right. So we will end this for now. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below, and I'll write down the comments or questions, and then I'll come back and pose them to him, and he can answer anything that you want to know about cherry harvesting.